Hi everybody, my name is Jan Dufour and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator living just outside of Louisville, Kentucky. If you want to visit my website because you're on YouTube, go to stampmesilly.com. That's where I have all my project sheets and the instructions. If you have a question, you can email me at jandufour@yahoo.com. You can also email me and ask me for a catalog if you don't currently have a demonstrator. If you see anything you like here and you want to order it, you can go to my online store at jandufour.stampinup.net. If you're not comfortable with doing an online order, please contact me. Give me your phone number and I'd be glad to call you to help you with that. Today's card is actually two cards, so I'm going to be skipping some parts, the easy parts, and just talking about it quickly so that I can show you both of them. The first one is a happy birthday card using the Wild and Sweet. Let's see, I have that here somewhere. That was in last year's catalog. I bought it. I thought it was cute. Saw a couple things and then just couldn't get into it. With our new in colors, a lot of people are looking at them going, ooh, they're all dark and they're not bright like the old ones and all that kind of stuff. I have fallen in love with Pebbled Path. It is more taupe than previous grays we had. If you do it with certain colors, it looks a certain way. It's a great base color and I absolutely love it. This is Wild Wheat and I had to look at it for a while because again, it's not exactly the colors I would pick, but it pairs perfectly with some of the, actually all 5 of our new in colors pair perfectly with each other. So I wanted to go ahead and try to highlight that. So we took the Wild and Sweet and I want to go ahead and stamp the Koala. The second card I have is also a Koala card. This one's sending you handmade hugs. Same Koala, presented a little bit differently, still using the Wild Wheat and the Pebbled Path. Then we used a die cut that came from Timeless Arrangement. I will be using that going forward in a couple of blogs. It's a great set. I've probably got 15 different cards that I've made using it, so it's an excellent one. And today we're going to get to use my homemade Stamparatus, my fake Stamparatus, my stamp positioner. If you have any questions about how I made this, there is a post. It's called Hacking the Stamparatus or Stamp Positioner. Just go ahead and type that in on my website search and you'll find it. There are 2 of them actually. There's this case one, and then there's one called an L shape, which I am not using in this particular time, but I also made since then. These are the L shapes that I made, and you can see they're quite thick, and you need that when you're using it as a stamp positioner. But I also said one of the cons of making this particular one was if the card was up against the corner, it was very difficult to press here. So what I did was make a small L. It's very thin. It's only 1 cardboard layer thin. I did put, it's basically cardstock on the back of both of them so I could secure this joint. But then you can put this in the corner. And so when you place your card in there to stamp, it just sits up against that. And then you're pressing here and not quite so close. So let me go ahead and show you what we're going to do first. I wanted to make, where did my card go? You know, I lose things. Here it is. All right. So I wanted to have this positioned correctly. And I didn't want to cheat and use my stamp positioner that I have that is no longer available to you. So I thought, well, I'll go ahead and, you know, put my money where my mouth is. This is what I told them to make. And of course, I want it on this size, which is 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. I have a project sheet. There is an error on it. I have to fix it. But it has all of the cutting instructions for both of them, what you need to supply, has all my contact information, and that will be over on my website. So what I thought I'd do first is go ahead and take a scrap. This is like obviously been used before. Put it up in the corner like I'm going to be doing when I use the Wild Wheat. put this up here because that's not where the stamping goes. I've got some little magnets here too that I'm going to use so it stays where I put it. So I want to put happy here. And I kind of want it centered and low down on the bottom. And of course I'll check to make sure it's straight after, but I want to make sure it's in the right place. And this is birthday. Again, I kind of want it centered and straight, which this has got that funky writing, so some of it doesn't really look straight. I guess I should get that further away from there. If you have trouble with moving these and it sticks to you, lick your fingers. These are your stamps. You can clean them later. Just lick your fingers so that when you move it around, they don't get stuck on you. I'm going to move this one up just a hair. And I think I like that. Okay, so I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to go ahead and close my stamp case and open it up. Of course, this moved and that's okay. But I am going to stamp on this first. I have just ordered some more of our new in colors because I only got 4 of each color and I've been using them up. So I want to, I needed some more. So I ordered them, but that's why I'm practicing on just a plain white scrap. We used Pebble Path. As you can see, it's kind of, can tell it's gray-ish, taupey-ish. It's a beautiful color. It doesn't come across as stark as black does. And it's not as brown as Early Espresso was, which we no longer have. And then let's try closing this. Make sure it's up in the corner in case we have to restamp. And then kind of press where it is. Open it up. Voila. It works so well. I won't tell you I've never made a mistake with it, but I've done that with the Stamparatus too. So this is real handy. So I'm going to put that aside because I don't want it right now. Yes, I do. I lied. I need to do this on the wild wheat. But I know that it's in the right spot now. So I'm going to go ahead. You don't want this as thick as when you were doing it with the stamper for stamping. You needed it high so that this could guide in. You don't want this so high that it won't stamp your stamps. So there's the dilemma. I'll put that there. I'm going to get rid of these. And then re-ink them. Make sure it's up in the corner. And I'm going to just press a little bit more on the B part. I didn't add any ink. It's because it didn't actually get on it, so the ink was there. And there you have our perfect little piece of paper. I'll put that aside. And actually, nope, I need that again. We're going to stamp our koala. So let me put that aside. And let me clean this up a little bit and get this stamps off. I don't want to lose them, so I'm going to stick them to the stamp case. And then I'm going to get my koala. And over the next few weeks, I am going to be showing you, what did I do? I stuck my koalas in the drawer. Poor thing. Here they are. I'm going to be showing you all 3 of these, so how to use them. So we're using the koala. And this is red rubber. It's a cling stamp, which is thicker. And as I said in my other video when I was showing you how to use this, I explained that. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of 2 things at one time. I explained that it was not always the perfect thing to use for that particular thing. I'm going to stick this sort of in the corner because this is actually smaller, as you can see on the card. But I think it's just as easy, maybe easier, to go ahead and just stamp it. I'm going to straighten them out here. And I'm going to go ahead and, yeah, I'll do it that way. I'm thinking, I should never think. It's not a good thing. You know what I mean. This is very detailed, which is awesome. You can be more detailed with red rubber than you can with photopolymer. They both have, you know, a purpose. There you go. He's so cute. We'll take him out. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp another one for our second card, and then I'll be done with the stamping part of it. Now this one, I really want him in the middle, so I'm going to have to clean him off. The other one, it was better to be up in the corner. Of course, you could actually make the size card that you're putting in here. I have the dimensions. But if you're just, I literally sat here and stamped 4 of everything. And then just decided what sizes I want. But this one's already cut to size, so I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. And then we'll go ahead and ink him up again. I don't even have my magnet in there. I don't really need it. And look how cute he is. And that'll sink into the cardstock. So we'll let that rest. Now I can put this away. And I can put this away. And I do need the stamping. We'll stamp that one less. Let me finish this first card up first. New ones don't slide as well as after they've gotten used. So that was a little bit hard, but that's okay. All right, now, so my fingers are very messy. I better clean those off, or we're going to have spots already that I can see on one of my cards, but that's okay. You know, it's all about adapting. So here's our little koala, and we need to color. And, you know, I didn't want to have it take a long time to do. I wanted this to be very quick. You could make up 10 of these in under an hour. Once you get your stamps set, the coloring is minimal. This is wild wheat, and I'm using the light. And you can color it or not. This one I actually did color. This one I did not color, so I'm just going to wait on that. All right, so the size of this, I need to cut this down. I'll put this so you can see it. The size of this particular, okay, somebody stole my project sheet. See, the problem is I have all these drawers open, and I keep throwing things down on the drawers. Okay, so the white part of this cardstock piece is 2 1/4 by 3 1/2. So the first thing I would do is, if you decide to do them all in the corner, because you don't know what you're going to actually do with them, is obviously if I cut this at 3 1/2, that's not right. That measurement's not right. Hang on. The measurement should be 2 1/4. All right, so if I cut 2 1/4, I'm going to be taking off some of this. So what I'm going to do is, you can see there's a little bit around, and this is actually what I did when I was playing with it. I just went ahead and cut a little bit off so that there was a little bit here, and then went ahead and did 2 1/4, which is actually the measurement I wrote down, but I wasn't paying attention. And then when I cut this, I'm not cutting off any of the poor little koala's leaves. I did the same thing up here. I cut just a little bit off because it was pretty much up in the corner. Oh, that's not good. Well, looky what I did. Hang on. Sometimes when you've been using your blade a lot, you have to go in the center, come out and go this way, because I actually made it all crumbly. That means I need a new blade. And see how fuzzy it is? But that's okay, because I'm going to show you how to fix that. All right, so I need this to be 3 1/2. So we'll do 3 1/2. And actually, because I had to cut a little bit off, I'm just going to cut it a little bit. This is a wing it kind of card, because I did, because I did make it a little bit weird. So I'm gonna like it more if the dimensions are a little bit closer all the way around. So now to show you what you do when your blade gets too, if you can see the fuzz, you take a nail file and you file it just like you do your nails. You can do it this way. Then you rub it and see all the fuzzies are gone. And I'll have to do the bottom because that one was also fuzzy. And then I'll change my blade. Luckily I have more of those. I try to keep those on, that and glue on order. Okay, so we have our little guy. I did not even decorate it a little bit, so I'm gonna leave that be. We have our piece of wild wheat. I'm going to adhere this. So we had a few side travels. This is normally a very fast card, but it's okay that we had a few side travels because that helps me show you that we all make mistakes and we all have things happen. But luckily with paper, first of all, there's two sides to every piece of paper, so you can always turn it over and do it again. There is a little spot there. Another thing that I recommend is one of these Tombow sand erasers. It works both on the white cardstock and on colored cardstock because our cardstock is colored all the way through. However, in our new catalog, we do have a few pieces of white centered cardstock, which is unusual. It's not our standard. There you go. We're all good now. It's not our standard, but it's fun to use sandpaper on to rub, and then you have a white relief that comes through. But anyway, so here we go for this, and then we're going to put it on one of our card bases with a top fold, which means you cut it at 4 1/4 and then score it at 5 1/2. And it makes an A2 card. And like I said, had we not had a few sidebar discussions, one being the L shape and that kind of thing, this would have gone much quicker. And then we have some new in color gems, which are the 5 new colors. Let's do a test. Pebbled Path, Wild Wheat, Moody Mauve, Copper Clay, and Boho Blue. Ooh, I did it. Good job. And on this one, we put the Wild Wheat one, and that's fine. You can put whatever color on there that you like. It's just however you're liking it. I think I like the Wild Wheat, but I think I'm going to switch and take one of the gotta get it up first. One of the smoke, yeah, I like that. And I'm kind of centering here and kind of centering there, and then putting it down, and we're done. All right, let's move along, and I will get you to our second card, which is also very cute. Actually, I made this card before I made the other card. This one involves a little coloring. So we're gonna take our koala, which is actually stamped in the correct place because I repositioned, and take our blends, which are also the Wild Wheat. And I only use, I did not do any shading. This is an distinctive stamp, and that's where all that detail comes in. So when you color, and I'm going to use the larger one for the bigger pieces, but when I switch to the smaller leaves, I'm gonna get the other tip. This just makes it go a little bit faster. And as you can see, I kind of just go around here because that's where his claws are, and up here. And then I usually like bring the color down so it's kind of not a straight line, if you will. It doesn't matter how you color within because it is an alcohol ink, it will blend in. And then, just so I don't get color everywhere, I do switch to the other tip, but it's really not a long coloring job. And again, it would be fine without the color. I was kind of experimenting to see what I could come up with. And we'll finish this up. There you go, Mr. Little Koala. I think he's very cute. And of course, it made me go look for things that had hugs, the word hug, because that's what he's doing. He's hugging the tree. So this particular sentiment comes from our new stamp set, which I cannot wait to play with. Crafting with You is sending you a handmade hug, but it's got like an easel for painting and paintbrushes, and it's got our stamp and emboss, and it's got a sewing machine and yarn, and a yarn basket. And of course you can put anything in the middle of this, a sentiment or any of your other stamps that are in there, or you inspire. It's a fun set. But it had that sentiment, so I thought, well, that works perfectly. So it is a tight fit. So I have several pieces in case I don't get it right the first time. And we did do it in, Pebbled Path. And again, because I made multiples, I went ahead and stamped it on a larger sheet of paper and then cut it down. But I'm going to test Jan and see how she does. Because I can't kind of see without putting my head exactly in the way. Let's see if this works. Because like I said, there are two sides. Oops. But I don't have to use the other side. Yay me. But it's a very small piece of paper. Like I said, you could stamp it on a larger one and then just cut it out close. And you need it close because this particular frame, it needs to fit inside if you want to see the stitching. You don't have to do a fancy frame. You could just cut a size a little bit bigger, then you wouldn't have to worry about that. I didn't want it, I had lots of other choices, but I didn't want it to take over my koala because I like my koala. So that's why I did it that way. But you know, you can experiment yourself, see what you like. Make sure I put this right side up, because then I'd have to make sure I took the dimensionals off so I could get it in there. All right, and then I did put it on here with dimensionals. And y'all, I'm out of white dimensionals, so I'm using the black ones. And I have two orders coming in tomorrow. One has dimensionals, one has glue, one has all my papers. So I'm in desperate need of getting all of those things. Let me peel off these things. I saw people using their thing. I've done that before too. But then I just feel like you end up getting these things even more places than if you peel it and try to get it in the trash can the first time. All right, so this is going to go right side up, down in the corner. I want a little bit of white border all the way around. So put that there, looking good. Then we have our other piece of paper, which again is all the measurements are going to be on the sheet, but it is 3 3/4 by 5. That's pretty standard. In my freebies, there is card sizes and envelopes, and it looks sort of like, it does look like this, where you can figure out, you know, which envelope size for A2, A7, a small one, a 3 by 3, and the layering system where you can do first half layer, first layer, 1.5, whether or not you want an 1/8 of an inch border or a 1/16 of an inch border to give you those sizes. So you can go, but those are standard sizes. Here's my A2 with a top fold. I'm going to go ahead and just put this around. Somebody asked whether or not you needed to go in the middle. I have a bad habit of just doing a swirl in there. It's not really a bad habit, but it's not necessary. This glue sticks. You have time to move it, but once it's down, it's not coming off. When you rip it apart, if you've ever done it, you take this apart and there's always like pieces of paper stuck to it because it really does not want to let go. But there you go. For our second one, we need some type of bling. And in this one, I think I'm going to switch it up and use the yellow. Not yellow. Wild wheat. I'm trying to remember. And this was also brought up in discussions of some of my Stampin' friends. When you put it with a other yellowy kind of color, it looks more yellow. When you put it with a greener kind of color, it looks more green. I think the Pebbled Path does that as well. It's really kind of a neat effect. So I would advise you to try it with different colors. Again, I really thought I wasn't going to like these colors, and I'm loving them. So these are our 2 cards for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, please email again at jandufour@yahoo.com. If you like this video, whether you're on YouTube or on my website, please click the subscribe button. I only post once a week. You'll get the tutorial. There's a project sheet on my website with each one of these cards that I make. The only time I give you more than one is if there's a flash free shipping. And of course, I want to let you know about that. So if you want to shop, it's jandufour.stampinup.net. I hope you enjoyed this video. Have a great day. Bye.